Hello.
Why are you already excited? You did a little Ian head shake before the countdown
Uh,
finished.
I'm excited. I don't know. I'm jazzed to be on the podcast today. It's crazy. I'm hyped.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the energy we need on a Monday morning.
Yeah. I got a new toy. You want to
What'd
see
you
my
get?
toy?
Yes.
So I got a thing. Let me adjust my screen here. I got a thing called a ticket meter or ticker meter.
Okay.
Show you this here.
Focus. Whoa, of course it's the Cloudflare stock.
Yeah, it shows you your stock. It just sits
That's
on your
cool.
desk.
Is that like e-ink?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think it's e-ink. And then it's got the red light on the side if if it's going down. It turns
Sad.
green if it's going up. And just sits here on your desk. It's glorious. And
That'll
apparently
definitely
you
help
can
you
use it
stay
for other
focused.
stocks. But yeah, I only use it for net. Like I posted a picture of this and I thought people thought it was like going through a portfolio or something. No. It just stays on net.
There's only the
all
one
day,
stock.
every day. Yeah, there's one stock in our portfolio. It's net. And that's the only individual stock. I just have whatever funds for everything else. Net. That's it. So I got my net ticker. It just sits here on your desk. It's awesome.
Okay, this is cool. I like this toy. How much was this toy?
Good. I think it was like $100 maybe.
No, that's not bad.
The weird thing is it took like literally 6 months to get. I think they like got, it's spread or whatever, and they didn't really have the capacity to build them that fast. And so it took a while, but it's been working, which I'm impressed by. And it's got these like prongs on the top here, and you can stack them together. And I don't know if they communicate to each other, or I guess you could just plug the bottom one in, and then it charges all of them.
That's cool.
Because they're actually, there's a battery in there too. But so I could make a little. If I ever get a second individual stock, I could
if you ever buy another stock,
I could get a ticker, another one of these. But yeah, it's a fun little toy.
Whenever Laravel IPOs, you can get LRVL. You can have net and LRVL. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my toy.
That's a fun toy. I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll have a thing to talk about. I don't know if we're going to do that now or later, but you interviewed a Cloudflare guy, so that was fascinating.
I did. We should talk about that in a little bit. First, weekend update. You know how I have a lot of kids?
I heard somebody told me you had 4 kids under 5?
Under 5 now, which is just less impressive, but
weird.
We're doing what we can.
Spot.
We were at dinner with some friends on Friday with all the kids, which brave, first of all.
Chaos.
And then 2 hours later, we were in the emergency room where we spent the night.
Hell, dude.
I don't freaking know. I'm so sick of it. Yes, I'm so tired. So we were at dinner and our youngest girl had a cough and it was just like getting worse and worse and worse. And then it turned into that wheezy breathing where it's like, oh wow, you have emphysema. And so we called the nurse at the doctor's office, called the nurse on call. And she was like, well, does she have a fever? Yes. Can you see her ribs when she's trying to breathe? Yes. Okay. Go to the emergency room right now.
Yikes. That's
so
not fun here.
No. So I took her to the emergency room. She's fine now. She just had croup, but apparently the only place you can get this like nebulized steroid is the emergency room. And maybe you can go to the doctor if it's during the week, but why would a kid get sick during office hours?
Never. Come on.
That's never happened.
That's silly. Yeah.
So I took her to the emergency room and ended up everything's fine. She had to get 3 breathing treatments to open her airways up. So I stayed until about 10:30, and then Jennifer came up and stayed overnight because we didn't expect to stay overnight. So we didn't bring her pajamas or her levies or anything like that. So we switched, and then they came home the next day. But yeah, man, I'm tired. Why does this stuff keep happening?
Well, at least that's not too bad.
It's not too bad. No. And fortunately I was never worried. It was never scary. No, It was just more annoying. And
the breathing stuff is scary though, it's like that's a baseline fear with the breathing stuff, a little bit. But yeah. Yeah,
but she was never I don't know. She was never visibly scared. It was just she was noisy when she was breathing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it didn't seem like she was freaking out or having.
She wasn't I'm gasping.
No,
for air
she wasn't I can't breathe.
Right.
So we were sitting in the waiting room, And we did the check-in, and the nurse was like, hey, has she had the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella? I was like, I have no idea, let me text Jennifer. Texted Jennifer, and Jennifer was like, yeah, she's had it. I'm like, great, yes, she's had it. And so we're sitting outside of the waiting room. There are a bunch of sick people in the waiting room. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait out here. And then I heard two nurses talking within earshot of me saying, yeah, there are some kids that don't have MMR in the waiting room and they have a fever. And the other nurse said, well, they can't be in there. You got to get them out of the waiting room. And of course, I'm like, oh, great. These, we have the freedom to have measles now. And they have exercised that freedom.
They did their own research.
Yes. Yeah. And so the nurse starts looking around, and there are two seats next to me. And I look, and I don't know where the audacity, maybe it was my fatherly instinct. She looked at those two seats, and I looked at her and said, don't put them next to me. And she looked at me, and I said, you're telling me they don't have their measles vaccine and they have a fever? Don't put them next to me. And she laughed and was like, okay. And she put them somewhere else.
You send them out to the car or whatever. Like, listen.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that this is rude, but this is my 18-month-old daughter who can barely breathe right now.
And you want to breathe. Yeah.
You want to put the people that aren't safe enough to be in the waiting room right next to me? I don't think so, friend. That's not going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Cured diseases, making a comeback.
Comeback. Yeah.
As if you don't have enough to worry about.
That was my exciting weekend. So on Saturday morning, instead of, taking the big kids to breakfast, I took the big kids plus one small kid to breakfast. Okay. Well, so I got them all out of the house. It was great. Yep. And we all went to the YMCA. And at breakfast, there was this nice older couple sitting in the booth behind me. And I know the wait staff, of course. And so they were like, oh, you brought one of the other ones. What's going on? And I was like, well, my daughter's sick, so Jennifer's with her. And then as this nice older couple was leaving, the woman put her hand on my shoulder and said, I would sit near your kids any day. They're so well behaved. You're doing a great job. And I'm like, I'm trying my best. Thank you.
Like, I'm barely hanging on here, lady.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that means so much. One of my kids is sick. And she said, I know. I heard. You're doing a great job. And I was like, oh, thank you, ma'am. That's so nice. That's what I needed.
You get so much love out there in the streets, man. People love you.
People I'm a man of the people, and I'm a sympathetic character with all these kids. So it does go my way. People are very nice to me.
See, my brother has a similar thing, but he actually doesn't like talking to people. So he doesn't like talking to people, but people are for some reason drawn to him. Like every time we're anywhere, people are just drawn to him and they're saying nice things to him and whatever. And he's extremely nice back to them, but he would never actively seek this out, but it just happens. I think you're a little more open to it than he is.
I'm a little more open to it.
But people are drawn to you, nevertheless.
I think so.
Man, we had a similar-ish, not all the way to the emergency room, but my son, it's like never ends. So that's just a little warning. You might have heard me say this to you before.
I have many times heard you say this. In fact, I think you've told me it gets worse.
It does get worse in some ways. It's nice because they can speak, which is a huge help. Like when they're in the
that is important.
We're 18 months old and we're just talking gibberish. Like, it's not the best, but so they can use all the words. They got all the words. But it's like last night, my 14-year-old is like, oh, I feel like I can't breathe. When I breathe in deep, it hurts in my chest. So we're looking, yeah. And then I was like, well, where exactly? So he's like, right in the dead center. And I was like, that's not really your lungs. I was like, you probably have acid reflux because all he does is eat all the time. So, give him some Tums and they felt better. And then this morning, he felt better still. So it's like, you're constantly playing doctor. Like, is this, do we have to go call the doctor?
That's an easy one. Ate too many hot Cheetos. Yeah, exactly. Here's some Tums, go to bed.
But you don't really know what they're eating anymore. I just think it big and they're just off eating stuff all the time. Like right now, you're at the age, everything everybody ate all day long down, right? Exactly. But like now, who knows what he ate? I don't know. He's like scavenging all the time to eat because he's 14. So he could have eaten anything. But yeah, there's always stuff. But,
always stuff.
All right. Well, that's not too bad.
Kid corner. Not too bad. Yeah.
Got out early the next day or?
Yeah, they were home. They were home by noon.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom came over to help everybody, get settled, because Jennifer got home and had to like obviously bathe Virginia because she's been in the hospital all night, and the 3 kids have been, so it was just a mess. So having my mom come over and help soften that blow was extremely helpful.
I think you should have gone for one more set of twins, and then you should have gone like YouTube reality series. Like that's where I think you made a mistake.
I told Jennifer we could be famous. Let's do a family YouTube channel, and she said that's fine as long as Jennifer, am not in it, and we don't show the kids' faces. And I was like, that's me. That's just an Aaron channel, which I already have. So,
well, let me tell you. I was just talking to Jamie about this. I texted her, Friday or Saturday. I was like, so there's my daughter. She's into the horseback ride, equestrian jumping horses. And of course, there's YouTube channels for this, right? So
of course,
whatever. There's a few big ones. She likes Harlow, which is a girl a similar age in England. And this Harlow is blown up. She's got, she's buying horses. She's doing stuff. She's got brand deals, the whole thing. And she's 12 or whatever, right? But she's been at this since she was like 6 or 7. They've been on the YouTube grind, and it's building, it's paying off. And I was like, the biggest mistake we ever made as a kid, it was not pimping the kids. I was like, we should have been pimping the kids from day one. Like they'd have a big pile of money right now, and
they'd be
so
totally
cute.
well adjusted.
They'd probably be well adjusted. I mean, I do think like, I don't know. What do you think? Like, so in
disaster,
even in my oldest era,
go on.
Oldest era, and then and certainly our era, like being kid famous meant like movies, TV, right, or maybe modeling or whatever. Like a lot of things where you are off with other adults, getting abused in various ways, getting taken advantage of, all these risks. You're not in school, right? Like there's a lot to that path, right? I do wonder if the YouTube path is a little bit different. Now, you do have all the freaks and crazies out there, but that was true with the other path too, right? So the freaks and crazies are given if you're a public figure.
Yeah.
But you're with your parents. You're not around a lot of other adults who are manipulating you and all that stuff. So you do have some benefits to the YouTube path, I feel like, over, being a movie kid.
Perhaps that is true. I think the dark side of YouTube is usually the parents. So because you're cool, it probably would have been fine. But I do feel like a lot of these, it's like pageant moms, but basically in a new medium. It's YouTube moms. And I think that fractures the relationship between kid and parent when it becomes like manager and talent. Yeah. That seems to be the failure pattern that's most common with YouTube kids.
I could see that.
Then there's also like, there's just so many crazy people. I mean,
comments and
and just like weird people. I think
the whole thing,
if you really wanted to do it, you'd have to use a pseudonym. You'd have to the kid, I think, would have to drive it. You don't want the parent being like, hey, I need to make you famous because I'm broke, or I have something that's not expressed about my childhood.
I just said we'd be super wealtly from it. That's
I know,
what I'm talking about here, Aaron.
So, well, self-identify on that one. I was speaking to the general masses. So I don't know. It just feels risky. And there's no getting away from it. Like once you're over it and you're 18 and all your friends are like, hey, horse girl, you're like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. It's like, I don't know.
So I don't know if you've heard of the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel?
I never heard of them. I just saw this weekend or whatever that he's done.
Yeah. So we've been watching him a few years. It's one of our like little mainstay type things. And he said he's done. But it's kind of weird because he's done because it's like family and the attention, but also he's like going to help his kids with his YouTube channel. So like, that's not really the same. That's like, you're kind of doing the same thing. So I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of fascinating that
we've seen a lot of that.
Explicitly hanging it up. Yeah. Oh, really? See, I've never seen somebody explicitly hang it up like that.
Yeah. There was a wave maybe 3 to 6 months ago of YouTubers being like, I'm done. Sorry. And I mean, it makes sense. Like the goal is to log off. So if you've made it, then just get out. Just get out.
I think you have like Casey Neistat, right? Who like he's not like he's like semi-retired. It's like every 3 months he'll throw up a video, but not totally gone, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. How can you use a pseudonym though? I feel like it's impossible. Like they'll hunt you down instantly. Like I just think it'd be very difficult. Maybe if it's just the kid, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like with the image searching now and everything, like they're gonna find out where you are instantly, right? Because it's gonna be super easy to do that. Like what town, if you show any background or anything,
That
right?
is
And then
true.
like then from there, you know, it's not too hard. But yeah,
see, this is why I don't want it, because there are people like you out there that are like, oh, it's easy. Look, show background. I know exactly where you are. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like when they show a picture of like the new B-2 bomber and people are like instantly in 2 minutes like, oh, this is the airbase it's at from this like little corner of a hangar, right? Like
I know
where the stars were in the sky. Like it's like you can't, it's impossible to escape it.
Too many freaking nerds to have privacy anymore, you know?
Exactly. Oh man. That's why we stay over here in our little podcast world.
That's right.
Just our friends listening, all of you out there. It's all nice people. Nobody's tracking us down yet. Anyway,
don't track us down. Because I do live in Texas and may or may not have 40 guns in my house.
There you
go. Don't track me down.
When you build this fence, you got to have turrets.
That is a great idea.
Yes. Turrets.
You have to get a permit to go over 8 feet, but turrets are just like Texas Constitution. That's just built in. Yeah.
It's just built in. You can have a turret. Yeah.
It is our birthright to have turrets on our fence.
Yeah. All right. So no YouTube channel for your family. That's unfortunate.
No, unfortunate.
Kids are
unlucky
okay
move.
though. Otherwise, here you made it through emergency room run. What do you get at breakfast? What's your guys' breakfast? What do you actually eat? You've talked about this breakfast many times. What are you ordering?
What am I ordering? All right. There's a whole thing. You ready?
Yeah, I think it'll be a thing.
We get so for the 2 kids, we get a waffle, Belgian waffle split, no powdered sugar. So it's just like plain waffle.
Just a waffle, yep.
Just plain waffle, no syrup. Yeah. We don't do
no
syrup.
They don't do the syrup.
Oh, they like syrup. We just it's not available. It's not offered to them.
Gotcha.
Belgian waffle split, 2 scrambled eggs, wheat toast, dry. Sometimes they put butter on it, and then it's like it's all soggy when it gets to the table, and you're like, "What are we doing here?" So wheat toast. My son likes jelly on it, so I often jelly his, and occasionally, depending on how my daughter's feeling, we'll do avocado. And she likes avocado on her toast. She's never going to be able to afford a house because of the avocado toast, but
of course.
And then we do 2 sides of bacon because they just crush the bacon.
I like bacon.
And then 2 things of milk, and that's it.
Wait, what are you eating?
Sometimes I eat. Oftentimes I don't.
Oh,
so we're getting a black coffee and a water, no matter what.
Have you eaten already?
No, I don't eat a lot of breakfast.
You're not a breakfast man.
Okay. But this Saturday, I needed some breakfast. I just needed it, and so they have like a yogurt parfait that's slightly above average, and so I get that. Yeah.
All right. I mean, they got the waffle, they got the toast, they got the eggs,
and the bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah.
You don't steal a piece of bacon. You must steal a piece of bacon.
I do steal a piece of bacon from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And my son, who is not yet speaking, will shake his finger at me. He looks at me and says, and he shakes his finger at me, and I'm like, I know, just one, buddy, just one.
I love when they hoard the food. That's
man,
the best part.
It's like you guys literally have 8 plates in front of you, and I'm not eating anything. I'm going to have a piece of this bacon. So yeah.
Oh, the food hoarding. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's a solid order. I approve. It all seems good.
And all of those things that I just said, the waitresses know without me having to say them. All of those things. Yes.
That's so funny.
So she walks over, like we walk in the door, and by the time we're sitting down, we've got the milks because they see us from the back. And they're like, oh, hey. And so we sit down, we've got the milks, and then they just say, you just want the regular? And I'm like, yeah. And they say, do you want anything today? No, I'm okay. All right. And then they're gone, and they come back. They come back with like literally 8 plates.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is perfect. I love being a regular. There's nothing like being a regular.
I was just thinking that. It's like I do like being a regular. I don't have a lot of opportunity for it. I might have to steal this breakfast idea. Maybe for the summer, my oldest kid's home from college. We've been looking for kind of stuff to do. Maybe we'll do a weekend breakfast every.
You should
Saturday
do a weekend
or
breakfast.
Like that.
You should.
That's intriguing.
There are two waitresses there that always take care of us and are always so nice to the kids. And so this past Christmas gave them a massive tip and a Christmas card from our family.
Christmas card, wow.
Because they only get to see half the family, you know. They only see me and the older ones. But yeah, they're wonderful. They're so nice to the kids.
That's
it's
so
great.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I love being a regular. Like I don't where I play poker, my regular poker place. I've been going there since it opened like 7-8 years ago, so I'm a regular there. So I know all the dealers. It's like a nice vibe. But
it is,
you know, the coffee shop, I'm sort of a regular, but like they're always super busy in there. You're not getting that regular vibe of like,
there's no folksiness there.
Yeah, we're chatting and we're hanging out. Like, it doesn't really have that vibe. So
you know, everybody wants to be somebody. You just got to be a regular, and then you're somebody's somebody. It's great.
True.
It's great.
Good point. Look at
so
guy.
Fun.
I like that idea.
Plus, there are other regulars, and then you walk in, you start pointing out the regulars. Hey, how are you? How's the family? How's your father? It's great.
In poker, they're literally called regulars. Like this is a term. There's like bad regulars. There's like regular regulars, depending on their play ability. But I'm going to the World Series of Poker, and I thought I wasn't going to go
as an attendee,
but I am going. Yeah, it'd be cool to go as media or something. I thought about trying to get a media.
I thought you were going as a player
doing photography, but I haven't actually tried that. I do want to do that one year. But yes, I'm going as a player to play in tournaments.
No, for real? You're going as a player?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
I didn't think it was going to happen. But then Jamie, bless her heart.
Bless you, Jamie. Great content, Jamie. Yes.
We love her. She's doing it for the content. She's doing it for the show. She's doing it for the probable guest we'll need on because I'll be gone on Monday. But
thanks for the heads up.
But yeah, going. So I'm only going. It's like 5 days, which is, I mean, the tournament can last like 3 or 4 days. So it's, you know, it's kind of in it. There's one I really want to play, so we play that one. Maybe play a second one if the first one doesn't go my way. But I love the tournament.
This is very exciting, Ian.
I love the tournament.
What do you stand to win?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's poker tournaments all over the place. Obviously, in Vegas for the World Series of Poker is like the biggest poker tournament.
Sure.
There are the World Series of Poker, like official ones, but then the other casinos in Vegas, since a lot of people are there to play poker tournaments, they do their own tournament series, and so you can go to other casinos. Whatever. I don't care about any of those.
Of course not.
I only care about the WSOP, which is like the main big brand one.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
I only care about that. Because sure, I'd like to win money. I love money, and that is the scorecard here. But at the WSOP, if you win, you get a bracelet, and I want a bracelet. That's like the thing. It's like you've won. It's the symbol of your achievement.
You can buy so many bracelets with money, Ian.
I could buy it, but it's not about that. That's it. You can't buy this. You have to earn it.
So this is the green. This is the green jacket of poker.
It's a little more, not quite as rare as that, but yeah.
Free associating sports references. That's crazy.
It's the Stanley Cup, baby. And
that's right.
And then, you know, you're in the Wikipedia. Hey, in 2025, Landsman won this and won the bracelet. Like that's
you're gonna live forever. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not trying. So I don't go to other tournaments. I mean, other times of the year, I might just randomly do a tournament here and there. But WSOP, I'm going to win a bracelet.
We're getting a bracelet. We're getting a bracelet for the pod.
Positive energy. Oh, we get a pod bracelet.
Listen,
forget about it.
You get a pod bracelet. I'll get a pod YouTube plaque, and we will run this town.
Oh, forget it. It'll be unstoppable.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Yes. We'll finally be rich and happy.
Plaque,
that's going to be awesome.
The plaque can definitely happen. The plaque is just
it'll happen. It'll happen.
That's
just grind.
You can definitely grind and do.
Yep.
I mean, the bracelet's similar in some ways, but it's a little bit harder, especially for the quantity I can play. One of the things with tournaments is like you play a lot of tournaments and like.
But how much money? How much money do you stand to win? Are we talking like $1 million?
Yes. So
what?
$1 million, Aaron. More than that, because here's the thing. So the tournament I'm interested in playing is called the Mystery Bounty. Okay. So it's $1,000 entry. And they get a bunch of entries because it's a very popular tournament. And the thing is, so at the winner is guaranteed $1 million, which, hey, I'd be happy with $1 million. But there's a special tournament with this thing called a mystery bounty. So if you make it to the second day, then everybody you knock out in the second day, you get their bounty.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Suck
get
it,
to
losers.
Take the bounty chip, and you get to draw out of a box for a prize. And so in that box is 2 more $1 million like prizes plus a bunch of like small, 50,000, 100,000, 10,000, whatever.
And some keychains, probably.
Yeah, that would be hysterical if they did that.
Definitely.
No, it's just money in the box. But
okay.
These are gamblers, Aaron. They want the money in the box. So yeah, so hey, if I win a couple nights, if you make it to the end of the tournament, you're going to have knocked a lot of people out. So you will get a bunch of bounties, and then also on top of that, win $1 million if you were to win the whole thing.
Wow.
Yes. Now
you better come back with some stories and some money. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy,
if you go out
talking to you, Jamie's got into your ear.
Listen, if you come back and you're like, oh man, I hit a hard flop and just busted out, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Dude, I know. I
have so to disappointed.
Make it to day 2. So here's my plan. So I arrive. I don't usually do stuff like this. I'm a leisurely traveler.
You are. Okay? You're a man of means. You don't like to show up and start working immediately.
No, I like to have a day on each side. I like to okay, this is not going to be that trip. We have a tight window. So the day I get there, if I can hustle and get to the casino, I'm not checking a bag, whatever, all that stuff, I can play in the tour. I can late register for that first day of the tournament. So there's like 5 day ones, they're called. So if I make that, at like 5 p.m., I can still get in there. I won't have many chips, but it gives me a chance to make it for day 2. If I finish that day out and I still have chips, I make day 2. So if that doesn't work out or I bust, I have 2 more days and I can have 4 total entries across those 2 days.
Got it. Okay.
So I got 4 to 5 chances to make day 2. So at the very least, I need to make day 2. If I don't make day 2, I'm going to be very upset. I'll be very upset.
If you don't make day 2, that's shame upon your household. You've been talking this big game, and if you don't make day 2, it's going to be real embarrassing.
And let me tell you, one other time I played this tournament, I made day 2. And I made a stupid mistake where I should have trapped in a spot, and I didn't trap, and blah, blah. So anyway, I didn't get any bounties that time, and I was very distraught. So I got to make day 2. The other thing you could do, which I plan to do, is let's say I finish the first time I play the day 1 and I have some chips, so I make day 2, but I don't have a lot of chips. I could still play the next day 1 the next day, so I can attempt to make day 2 again with more chips.
In a better position.
Yes, and so that's going to be my goal. I'm just going to play every day and try to get more chips for day 2, even if I made day 2 already. Not going to take any days off. There's no relaxation. We're grinding the tournament. So that's the plan.
Well, this is very exciting. This is very exciting.
Now, I will say...
And you're telling me I got to find a guest for Monday. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, okay. Not this Monday, the next Monday, but yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
You got a week here.
That's
a little over 2 weeks. Unless if I win this thing, we just do emergency pod and forget the guest. Then I agree. We'll just make ourselves available on that Monday night or whatever. But so I've been mostly playing Pot Limit Omaha in recent times. So this is a no limit hold'em tournament. So I'm a little rusty on no limit hold'em. So I've been in the lab trying to refresh my memory on charts and ranges and different things. But so we'll see how it goes. But I'll be at the WSOP. If you're out there, hit me up. Maybe I'll meet up with anybody who happens to be out there. I'm not guaranteeing that because I'm trying to stay focused on tournament, but it's possible if I bust and got nothing to do, meet up with a listener or two.
Good luck, and we're all counting on you.
Yeah. All right, what else is going on here? Let's do an ad.
Let's pay some bills, but you want to talk Livewire after that?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's pay some bills.
All right. Our friends, big friends, over at Laracon US 2025. Laracon is calling all web artisans. Come to Denver, ready to level up. Eve, ready to ship. Check that out over at laracon.us. Get your tickets, buy tickets. Aaron will be there. I'll be there. We're having a party. Even if you don't see us at the party, come say hi.
Do not wait. Get your tickets now.
Yes, get your tickets now. And then native PHP for mobile. Our friends over there. Build awesome native mobile apps at ridiculous speed with Laravel. V1 out now with iOS and Android support. Thanks to them. Check them out at nativephp.com/mobile. And they're doing, we talked about this last week, but they're killing it over there. So that's awesome. Definitely check that out. Thank you for sponsoring.
All right. I'm going to set the table for you.
Yes.
And then I want to hear your thoughts. All right. Brannick Weeks. Probably Weeks. Brannick says on Twitter, spent the last few weeks screening and interviewing Laravel developers. I was surprised by how many position themselves specifically as tall stack / Livewire developers. This will be controversial, which has proven true, but I think it's an unfortunate direction for both developers and the Laravel community. And he goes on to say, basically, I view parts of the Laravel ecosystem as inward or outward. Livewire is very focused inward. I used Livewire early on and it's great. Kudos to the team, but we grew quickly and we outgrew it. TLDR, if you're debating learning Livewire, React, or Vue and looking for a job, I think React is a wise choice, and I hope to see more of Laravel community push towards that. So to summarize, he's saying he's hiring Laravel developers. A lot of people say they're Livewire devs. He thinks that's a travesty because the broader web dev ecosystem has settled on React, and branding yourself as a Livewire developer is holding you back. So, saw this tweet. I don't hire developers. I'm not looking for a job. Doesn't super move me. But then Caleb did a 1 hour episode on an hour on this tweet alone, which was very interesting. Yeah. So you've listened to Caleb's episode. You are a person who hires developers. Hit us with some high level thoughts here.
I mean, listen, I sort of get the general gist of the idea he's talking about of like growing the ecosystem and things like that. But here's the thing. I'm with Caleb. I'm with Caleb on this, in that his ultimate point doesn't actually make a lot of sense to me, in the sense of if you're looking at this through the lens of what's best for you to learn to get a better job, I don't necessarily think that this is like the angle I would take. But for the point Caleb made, I went out and did a little research. Caleb's point was like, if that's your goal, why are you even using Laravel? Because Laravel is not the number one job sort of framework either, like in just pure raw numbers, right? So I went to dice.com, which is like the biggest tech specific job board. There's 23 Laravel jobs posted there. How many Java jobs do you think there are?
300. Are you freaking kidding me?
9,000 Java jobs, and there's 23 Laravel jobs posted on Dice.com.
9,000 Java jobs?
And now we know Laravel's killing it, right? So it's not like there's not anything negative about Laravel at all. But like, this is the reality. If you're purely going on what language should I learn or framework should I learn to maximize the possibility I get a job, like, there's different angles there. But if you're just going on numbers, then you should probably learn Java, because there's 9,000 open jobs, and there's not 9,000 open jobs in Laravel. Now on the flip side, you can make the case that maybe you want to specialize more. There's less Laravel developers than there are Java developers, right? So like you can niche in there and all that stuff, which is kind of then getting at that point of like, well, like being a Livewire dev is actually a sort of interesting niche, that this technology that a lot of Laravel companies do use. So that's kind of my take. I'm kind of with Caleb in that, like, ultimately, if you're approaching it more as I think a lot of devs do, of like, I'm going to use what I like to use and then try to get a job in that fits with what I want to be doing all day long, that's then a little bit different. Like, I went and learned React a year or two ago there, and I haven't touched it since. It's like, it's fine. I get it. Like, if I was like specifically looking to get hired, I'd probably be more aware of it. Like, I'd know Livewire and I'd probably know React also, which would make me flexible to like go either way or whatever. But I also think it's also just not that big a deal. Like, if I got hired, like, who are these people he's hiring that he can't teach them enough React? Like, I don't know. It just feels like if this is really important and you have a dev you think is really good and then they know Livewire but they don't know React, I don't know. Is that really going to be like a 2-year process? I feel like it's going to be pretty quick. You can get them up to reasonable speed if you already have a team of other Laravel React developers. Like, that's not a huge issue, I don't think. So yeah, I don't know. What's your take on it?
My take is 9,000 is crazy. I got to start.
Crazy, right?
I got to start teaching people Java. What the hell am I doing?
Yes, that's actually a good idea. SQLite for Java. I mean, that's probably just a thing.
That sucks for me.
I don't think those are all active. It did say like 400 were active. Or I don't know how it distinguishes this, but the total Laravel was 23 active, inactive, and the total Java was 9,000 versus like 400 or something. So
yeah. Well, I think the point that Caleb was making about Laravel probably stands, that if you want like if you want maximum hireability, you should probably learn something else. You should probably learn Next.js. As stupid as it is, a lot of people are hiring for it.
Or some apparently mobile thing,
Java,
C# or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But I think I somewhat agree with Brannick's point just about the branding, just like branding yourself. I think branding yourself as a niche of a niche is probably bad strategic branding, unless the job description says we're a Livewire shop, and then you say, "Great, I'm a tall stack developer." That makes perfect sense. If the application doesn't say that, I would personally brand myself as a Laravel developer because the application says that.
I mean, we talked about this before, but I have a huge beef with all these people out here who do not customize their resume and their cover letter for the job. If you don't see Livewire in that job, you really shouldn't be talking a lot about Livewire. Like, I mean, you could add it as another thing, right? But like, it should not be the thrust of your job application.
Yes.
Because that's just dumb. It has nothing to do with Livewire or not. Like, it's like, if they're not looking for a Livewire developer, why are you going to present yourself as a Livewire developer? So like,
correct. Use your brain. Yes,
use your brain. That's on the devs there to like not be stupid and sending resumes that are not customized to the job. But anyway.
Yes. So as usual, I've sidestepped the main question and answered some other philosophical question. Here, I do think to the actual question, I think React has won, which fills me with great dread because I don't super like it. And that may not be fair. Somebody asked me why I don't like it the other day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just Next.js that I don't like. And they've become so intertwined with React that it feels hard to separate. But obviously, my preference is not React, and it is a shame to me that it's won. And I do think I'm going to have to learn React at some point. I think to remain relevant as an educator in this space, I think I'm going to have to know React, especially with Laravel corporate switching everything, well, maybe making all new things out of React. It's like, well, this is how I like to ignore things until I can't ignore them or until they go away, right?
Yep.
So I successfully ignored microservices. I ignored Angular. I am continuing to ignore Docker. I've ignored TypeScript. All of these things that are like, oh, you got to do it. I'm like, do I? Really? I don't think I do. And then once Laravel proper starts doing it, I realize, okay, I can't ignore it anymore. That was my introduction to Vue.js. That was my introduction to gradual typing in PHP. I was always like, why would I ever use return types? Or type hints. Like, I know what I'm doing. This is very silly. And then Laravel, the framework, started doing it. And I was like, all right, well, the zeitgeist has moved on. It's time for me to move on with it. And I feel like that's what's happening with React is the zeitgeist, our like little corner of the internet is like not giving in or giving up, but maybe acquiescing and saying, all right, React has won. Who cares? Let's keep building stuff. So that's kind of my thought on the whole like front end of choice. I still don't want to use it, and I probably won't. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think branding yourself as a niche that the job doesn't call for, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think branding yourself as a Livewire developer is inherently a bad idea. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I do think like there's a huge difference between job hunting and building, right? And so
yes,
one of these frameworks can be great for building and the other can be great for job hunting, and that can just be okay. That can be fine. Like the market may still be small for even just Laravel, but Laravel's great for building, and so we use it to build. So I do think there's some of that going on where Caleb is thinking as a builder and Brannick is thinking as like a hiring manager, and there's a little bit of a perspective difference there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's as dire as either side has made it out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tweet is really, he's missed the point a little bit. It's really like we were just talking about, it's mostly the stupidity of the devs. Like if he's got a job that's like, this is React and Laravel, and you are applying with, I'm a Livewire guy, well, that's just stupid on the dev who's applying. That's nothing to do with the job or anything else. Like, so yeah, and I think your point is excellent in that, like, different people, depends on your motivations. Like if you're looking for jobs, probably knowing some React so that you can flexibly apply to different types of jobs would be good. If you're an educator like you are, you're going to have to know the hotness that people are out there, right? But React's a general purpose tool, so it's always going to have this much wider audience than Livewire. Like Livewire can never ever be even a fraction of React, just because it's inherently restricted to a subset of the Laravel developers, right? So like it could never be bigger than Laravel. It can never be half the size of Laravel even, right? Because it's just restricted in that way. So then it's just about, it's like a niche tool, but the niche can still be huge, even, you know, at least in terms of Caleb and his company. And like, it doesn't need to have a $10 billion addressable market, right? For Caleb to make a living and it be worth his time to work on. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's more about like when you're building, like in my own decision making, it's like I like Livewire because I don't like React, and I don't, and just even making Inertia and React and all these things work together, I've always found to be more difficult than Livewire. Obviously, it can be done, and people are doing it, and that's great. But and also too, I think you have a corporate element, right? Of like, well, we have front end developers who are different from the back end developers.
Yeah.
And so that's even its own world, right? Whereas like obviously Livewire again is designed for people who want to stay in the back end and think about things more from that perspective, and not, you know, obviously you're still working on the front end, but you're taking this back end focused perspective on it. So yeah, so I think that's always going to be the case there. And we'll see. I mean, Livewire, I do think Livewire specifically, like that Laravel has continued to support it. They got the starter kits with it. Like it hasn't been abandoned by the mothership in any way. If anything, it's been backed more than it has been, even, I would say, in some ways. You know, I think that's Livewire's fine. At the end of the day, all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Like you build what you like whatever. HelpSpot has like prototype.js in it buried in there. Like literally hasn't been worked on in 1,000 years, which we're ripping out soon. But like, okay, hope to have the problem that 20 years later, you might have to take out this library, which isn't fully supported. Like, okay, who cares? Get to 20 years from now and then worry about if the tech got old on you or not. Like it's irrelevant. Like you just want to build in what you like to build in. So I think that's the key element. Yeah, he took some heat, this guy, though. It kind of seemed like it went both ways.
Yeah, I don't think he took some heat from Caleb, but I don't think he necessarily took heat otherwise. General. Yeah. I think a lot of people agreed with him, actually. Yeah. There were some people that were like, I like using Livewire. It's like that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. But several people were like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, I think as all things, it's a matter of like, what are you trying to do? Like, what is your goal here? And I don't think Caleb's goal is to beat React. And so it's always going to be a niche tool for our community only. So in that regard, he's doing great.
I think if anything, he maybe waited too long to release Flux, I would say, you know, like I think that hurt it a little bit. I think he could have maybe even had Livewire in a more dominant position if Flux came out 2 years ago or something like that, right before the like total ascension of React. So in that regard, there's maybe a little unfortunate timing there. But I think if Flux didn't exist, I think that would maybe even be a little different, because like even like just speaking for myself here, like that's always been a big struggle. It's like having to build every component when there's so many good components out there right now, and you're just like looking at the other side of the fence and you're like, oh, look at all the fun stuff they have over there, and here I am trying to like build a fancy select list on like day 7 of this, and you're like, this sucks. So I do think the Flux is a huge part of it, and like yeah, for him to keep, like, that would be my 2 cents to him, would be like his podcast yesterday was talking about going off on different adventures and things, but for him to try to stay focused on Flux a fair amount, because like the better Flux is and the faster it goes and the bigger it gets and the more use cases it covers, like that is what's gonna, I feel like, ensure a lot of Livewire's future, because it's just like, oh, I can stay in Laravel and I like Livewire already, or I know it, or I have reasons to go to Laracon, give talks, all these things kind of now hinge on Flux a lot in my mind. So continuing that is important, but yeah. So slight drama, but nothing too crazy, I guess. We've seen worse drama than that.
We've seen much worse. Yeah. This is not too crazy. I didn't find Brannick's tweet to be very aggressive, just for the record.
No, it didn't seem like it was really throwing down.
No, it just seemed like very milquetoast, kind of right down the middle. I think you are correct in that the diagnosis was slightly wrong. The diagnosis should be brand yourself better, right, like to match the job. Right. But I didn't find the tweet to be particularly offensive.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when you work on something and someone talks negatively about it, like I get it from Caleb's perspective. I think this is why
I would want to be an open source guy. Out. Yeah, I would have hated that.
Yeah, I like being in commercial software where like basically nobody ever talks about you unless you're ultra, super, ultra huge, which is like 10 companies, and everybody else is like, yeah, we don't ever talk about that thing, whatever, who cares, it's a thing we use, we pay the company for it, and that's it, which is what I like. Whatever, I like the customers we have to like the product, but I'm not like, nobody's out there tweeting about their B2B apps too often, unless again it's the really big ones. So that's nice. Yeah, I don't care for that kind of those things weigh on me the way I think it does for you. And
I take those things so personally.
Yeah. So, and same with me. So it's like a decision I made. I'm like, I don't need to. I can contribute to open source in other ways. I don't need my code being the thing people are discussing.
I decided to get real into open source, and then was like, I'm not doing this. I got to get real out. I got to get real out of this open sourse. This
got too much going on. You got too much going
on. Yeah.
Oh, I had something else about him quick. What was it? I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me. But
all right, anyway. If you think about it, I'm going to pay some bills. This episode is brought to you by WorkOS AuthKit. Laravel 12's new starter kits include WorkOS AuthKit, future-proof your authentication stack with the identity layer trusted by OpenAI, Cursor, Perplexity, and Vercel. You can find out more at workos.com. And this episode is brought to you by Bento. Bento is the email service provider that we use at TryHard Studios for marketing and transactional emails. You can find out more at bentonow.com if you need a reliable email provider for your SaaS or your newsletter. Thank you to WorkOS and Bento for sponsoring the show. Did you think of anything, Ian?
No, I didn't. Let's just move on.
Okay, that was good. Yeah,
you talked to Cloudflare. Right, what else? You were plugged into the mothership.
I am. I'm part of the conversation.
I love it.
What did you watch it?
Of course.
What did you think?
Very good. I thought it was great. It was you got into the weeds on some technical stuff there. You got a little behind the curtain about like Cloudflare and how it like all is structured internally and different tools. Cool? And they're just like us. We're like, oh yeah, actually this tool should be built on this other tool, but it's not. So, things don't work exactly the way we would like, because someday we're going to make it work the way we would like, but that
and these
not
two
today.
Things that are named the same thing, they're actually fundamentally different things. Yeah. Like, all right. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. So, so what was that like? I guess
it was great. Yeah. So this is a testament to doing things, which you can just do. So I went to React Miami on a lark, just like, hey, what the heck?
Let's go. This came out of that?
This came out of that.
Look at this guy.
So I went to React Miami, bunch of Cloudflare people there, and all super friendly, very nice, delightful people, and was talking to some of them and was like, hey, I want to do more stuff with Cloudflare. Like, I've done one video for D1, but I want to like do more stuff. And they're like, oh, we would love that. We'd love to do more stuff. And so I'm talking to this woman, Corinne, who is a product manager on Cloudflare Workers. So I was talking to her and she was like, you know what? You should have this guy on your database school podcast. And I'm like, you've heard of the show? What is happening? This is great.
Here? Yeah.
And so I met this woman at React Miami. We became friends. Then she DMs me later and she's like, hey, I've got this guy. Can he come on? It's like, sure, sounds great. And so that's how this came about, was just like, yucking it up with the people at React Miami.
I did not think that's what you were going to say at all. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. That is crazy.
Yep. So that's how it came about. And then the podcast itself was just great, because I have always wanted to know, like, what the hell is a durable object? Couldn't have picked a more ambiguous name for it.
Yep.
So it was fun just to be able to pick his brain and be like, what is all of this stuff? And he's obviously very smart, but he was very good on camera. So it worked out great. I'm really happy that people like this podcast. So this guy's name is Josh Howard. He's a senior engineering manager at Cloudflare. And he told me before the show, he was like, oh yeah, I've listened to every episode. And I'm like, what? For real? Of this?
The ear of the people.
I know. So that was really like encouraging. And he's a super nice guy, so it went.
That was a good get too, because he wasn't like just, oh, he's the DevRel guy and he knows a little bit about some stuff, but like, which, you know, DevRel is great and important, but like this is a guy who's like running stuff. Like the teams that build these things report to this guy. So like he's got the bigger picture. He knows. I mean, he was very honest with several areas of like, this part sucks, basically, in so many words, and I would like to make it not suck. I love my favorite part was just the whole reality of like, you know what? Customers never ask us for this. I hate how this thing works. But customers never ask us to fix it.
That was great.
Like, that came up a couple times, and he's like, so we haven't changed it. I'm like, yes, this is how software is built.
As an investor, you were pleased to hear that.
I was very pleased.
Yeah,
because this is the reality. Is like, I feel like all the time on YouTube, the internet's like people all idealize and the perfect tech stack and all this stuff. But the reality is, it's like, this thing sucks. But you know what? No one's ever even noticed it sucks. So does it even really suck? Or is it just me being sad that I think it sucks? You know what I mean? But it's fine. The customer doesn't care. So yeah, I thought that was really cool to have somebody deep inside this $30 billion organization or whatever it is be like, yeah, it's fine.
Let that tech stand. Good prioritizing there, clearly.
Yes. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, good interview. I haven't watched some of your database ones are a little too much for me. I haven't listened to every single one.
That's okay.
But the Cloudflare,
I actually don't expect people to listen to them at all, and so it's always a surprise when people do. I mean, this one with Josh has 4.8 thousand views on YouTube, and then the audio only doesn't get very many because I don't think many people know that it exists.
Right. I just think of it as
but
YouTube.
It's let's see, analytics, episodes. Let's go to episodes. You're on transistor.fm, not a sponsor. They should be a sponsor. They get 300 to 400 downloads audio only. So we're looking at, this episode's probably got more than 5,000 listens, which is a lot.
Yeah. You're selling something high value. You don't need that many purchases to move the needle. So
yeah.
And
so
I liked how you had the ad in there. I like the editing of it with the ad right there. Top, you also had like an ad spot in there at some point. So I was like, yeah, that's good. More of that. That's good stuff.
Businessing, man.
Businessing.
It's crazy.
So that was the other thing with businessing is I think it was in the newsletter. You talk about affiliates and things about doing affiliates.
So I went to lunch. I went to lunch with an internet friend who was in from out of town, and he was like, dude, you've got to do affiliates. The way that these like he didn't say this, but I will. The way that these like internet grifters work is like they build a decent product, but then they get affiliates to just sell the bejesus out of it. And he mentioned a few like these like, starter kits, these Next.js starter kits where people are like, oh, you can ship fast and make $1 million. And the product that I actually sell is the thing to build the product. It's like, okay, so you don't use your own thing to build anything, but we're off on a tangent. So, I don't know how to make affiliates work. We've tried affiliates and it ends up being like people who like me, which is very nice, and have a blog and want to put a link on their blog. But what I'm looking for is somebody that's aggressive to be like, I am going to go out and find or like manufacture traffic to sell this thing. And I just don't know how to do that. Is that something that is like doable for us?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, shoot.
I don't think so. Well, here's the thing. I think it takes a very so I've tried the affiliates all different ways. We have some for HelpSpot, and there's a few. If you get in with a good one, they're not even for HelpSpot. It's more like partners. It's a little bit different. It's not like just a pure affiliate. Lara Jobs has an affiliate program. which is okay. Like, I mean, I think initially it did help a little bit because like it was on Jeffrey's site and it was on Laravel.com and like, and they were affiliates or whatever, but they would have linked to us anyway. So I don't even know, like Lara Jobs has one we opened to the public a year or two back. It's like, well, let's try it, right? Everybody's like, let's try affiliates. And it pays a lot. It's like you can make $150 a job or something, like more than like a lot of these things that have affiliate things.
Sure.
Nobody pushes it. It's like
nobody does it.
Because I think the thing is, so I mean, you have Transistor, which I know did really well with affiliates. You have like Kit, which did really well with affiliates. To me, the thing I think my analysis that I've distilled down after thinking about affiliates a lot is like you need the product that is aspirational. And so it basically sells itself. And it's just like, then the distributors, the internet grifters can just be like, oh, if I just put this aspirational thing in front of people, a reasonable number will buy it and they'll be worth it. So like people are aspirational about starting a podcast, right? People are aspirational about starting a newsletter. So these things kind of work a little better, I feel like.
So maybe screencasting.com.
Screencasting could maybe be. See, I think like the Postgres courses and stuff, I don't think it's going to work because I think it's like,
that's how I feel.
You have to want to learn this thing. It's not like on a whim. I'm going to be like, oh, I mean, everybody knows there's Postgres. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's got that hook of like, I'm going to on a whim buy it if some YouTuber says it to me. Screencasting.com is different.
That's different. That could work.
Like it could work because that is like, yeah, like I have a course on, I have a YouTube channel on video editing. Hey, like you should go check this out because this, you know, teaches you everything that I've shown you, but in greater detail, whatever. That could be something.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one we try it on is screencasting.com because that is aspirational or could be aspirational. It's one of those things where it's like I want to start or a YouTube channel. I want to do a course on a thing I know and make a bunch of money. And
do you have a YouTube angle on screencasting? Like, is there some videos about YouTube specifically?
Not really.
Oh, you got to do that. I feel like you need that.
Yeah, we might do like a short thing, like 5 or 10 videos.
Do one 10-minute video. Just like have it on there so that then the affiliates can like lean on that more. It's like, hey, like this is for you. You want to start a YouTube channel. You want to start TikTok, whatever. You probably need all those, but at the very least, YouTube, YouTube. So like,
I know YouTube.
You can start with YouTube, and that's the big dog anyway. There's got to be a million channels that are like start your own YouTube or tangentially related to that.
There's so many like
and you
YouTube
can get in there.
meta channels, but they all want to sell their own like get started on YouTube
their own stuff.
Yeah,
sure. I bet you though, it's like I'm into a lot of like photography YouTube, right? And like every single one, and I mean literally every single one, is sponsored by Squarespace. Like Squarespace is just the universal sponsor. If you are making like lens reviews or you're talking about photography or whatever, they're all sponsored by Squarespace. So there's something there for that too. Now, I think those are just paying money, right? So it's not affiliates. But also for screencast.com, I feel like there's some angle there because the ones who aren't selling their own thing are doing brand deals because like they're making money one way or the other, right? They either have their own course type thing or they have brand deals. Some combination. I mean, doing a lot of brand deals would be expensive, but like, I don't know. I feel like there could be something there. Screencasting is the widest net for sure. So like there's something to all that and getting in some of those circles.
Yeah. I think we got to figure out some sort of affiliate play for screencasting.
A lot of the thing with affiliates too, that's kind of been hurt is part of the, I think, benefit was people would sign up for affiliates. Like I saw this a lot, even like when I, years ago when Transistor was doing really well with theirs, and maybe Justin could speak to this, but I feel like they had a lot of people who were just going to be able to get better SEO results than Transistor itself could. And because they built up whatever the right keywords and the right website for 5 or 10 years before that. And so it's like, okay, I have this SEO positive site. I can now build blog posts around different affiliates and I can rank for them better than the company itself can.
Correct. Yep.
And so that's the play I'm going to make. It's not an ongoing thing. It's easy. It's not even taking away from other stuff I might be doing because it's just like one blog post that Google's sending people to, which is totally unrelated to the rest of my site even. Whereas like with SEO kind of dying, I feel like that's also maybe there's a little less draw on that end of people who are looking to be affiliates and take that angle on things. I mean, the upside is it like almost never hurts to do these affiliates. Like whatever, we have an affiliate program. If it takes off, great. Hopefully you can like get people interested in doing it. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But
yeah, maybe I need to go find these like like make money from home blogs. Like, Smart Passive Income used to be like the one. But maybe I need to go find a bunch of those types of blogs and reach out to them and offer them an affiliate deal on this.
Yeah. I do think that's a huge mistake people make too, is like you just sign up for the affiliate program software, right? And you start your affiliate program, and then you never actually
put a link in the footer program. And then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you want to be successful with it, it definitely takes more work than that, as with everything. So yeah, I like that idea. Like if you reach out to some known kind of entities like that who do a lot of affiliate marketing and have big audiences, and who cares if you have to give them it doesn't matter, right? If they want to take 50%, great. Who cares? Like you'll pay, it doesn't even matter. 75%.
Yes.
You could literally pay anything because like it's all incremental revenue. So
it's found money. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just even the value of getting your name out there and how, that's going to build beyond what they directly send you, so that part is very
right. Getting them on our list so we can sell them more of our things with
and
no
then when
cut
they talk
later
about
on.
it. Yeah. The people they bring in will then talk to other people about it in some format or another and send you people who are now unaffiliated, right? So like all that kind of stuff builds up. But there's something there. Screencasting
there's something there.
Definitely the play, I think, though.
I think
so.
I think you're right.
If you're going to put the work in on it.
Yeah. And we can do it. We can do it very simply at the beginning with just like Stripe coupon codes. No affiliate software, just like calculate who used the code, how much do we owe the affiliate.
And pay them out or something. Yeah. If you have a small number.
Fine way to start.
Yeah. I like that idea. And that's something you personally probably don't have to be super involved in getting set up. Maybe some basics of the code end of things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But maybe the rest of the crew could help out with some of the outreach and things. I mean, you
for
might
sure.
Kelsey
could find all of them and send emails
even just
easily.
Getting it organized. Yeah. I like that idea.
All right. Well, that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna try it for screencasting then.
That'll be good content. When screencasting come out or relaunch? Soon.
Potentially on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. Potentially.
Cool. I'm excited.
I'm very happy with where we're at. We we did this whole re-architecture thing, and just on, I think it was it was Friday, so it was a few days ago, Steve and I were talking, and we were like, it sure would be nice to offer like 1 hour hands-on sessions, or it would be nice to offer like you send us in a screencast of yours and Steve and I will get on a video call with each other and tear down your screencast for 15 minutes and then send you that video back. Right. Yeah. And so these are services, and we didn't have a concept of a service in the data model to be able to purchase. Right. And I realized, like, you know what? The data model perfectly works for services. Yay! So I just went in and I added a new entitlement class, which was basically it's just an email entitlement. And whenever someone purchases a product, it sends an email, and it sends an email to like the person who bought it, CCs me and Steve, and is like, great, let's get this going. And then you just create a Stripe product that's like, tear down. The entitlement is send this email, and I published it and it was done. It took me like 30 minutes to like write the entitlement class, deploy it, and then go on prod and create the actual Stripe product. Like, this is the sign.
That's cool.
This is a sign that we modeled something correctly, that we can add this completely new thing in under an hour.
I like that. And just the service itself, I think, is a cool idea. What are you going to charge for this?
So the 15-minute asynchronous teardown, $250.
Okay.
And then the 1 hour synchronous hands-on, I think we put it like $1,249 or something like that.
That's interesting to say.
Because it'll be me and Steve for an hour. So hopefully somebody buys it, and hopefully not too many people buy it. So that's kind of the spot we're trying to thread the needle.
Could be a fun thing. I always think about like Harlow, who I was talking about before, the horse girl. She does Cameo. So we can do a little cameo, whatever people have Harlow, congratulate you on your win or wish you luck in your next event or whatever. Like, I wonder if you guys could do something like that. Like, maybe not always available, like Cameo, but it's like, hey, we're running a special. It's like a thing you could push. It's like, we're going to do a 5-minute teardown for $50 or whatever, just so that you make 50 of them, right? Just so you want to get a lot of them. So
that's an interesting idea.
Post it, right, on Twitter and everywhere else. Oh man, I got these guys to do the breakdown. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you even maybe you auto post them all anyway or whatever. But like, it's like you're making it cheap just to create the volume, to get the volume. It's really more like marketing.
Yeah, that's interesting, because in the teardown email that we send after they purchase, we say something like, hey, we might want to use this as material in the course. Is that okay? Yeah. But that might be cool to do a flash sale, low price, with the stipulation that we do get to use this as material in the course. Yeah.
Yeah, not even in the course. I mean, the course is fine, but I even think like you want it outside the course. Like
put it on YouTube.
Like this is like marketing, or like you highly encouraging them to share it, and you're going to share it.
Right.
And this is the goal of this, is to like, you're getting a benefit for very cheap, but also we're trying to get word out about this awesome course and all the knowledge we put into this thing. I don't know, there's something there. You don't have to figure out the pricing and the time and the whole thing, but I feel like there's something there where you like, video is such a good format. People want to share it. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something there. Leveraging the video-ness, you know?
I like that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
The video.
Love the video. Gotta have the video.
I don't like anything that's taking you away from making more YouTube videos, though, Aaron.
I know.
More YouTube.
I know.
I want that plaque behind you.
I do too.
2026.
Adam got it in like 6 minutes. I'm like, God dang it. You know, I'm working on
millions of followers. So
that is true. Yeah.
All right. I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We need to cover?
I don't think so.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Find us at mostlytechnical.com. Old shows, RSS feed, all the stuff. Obviously, you can buy ads. You should buy ads. These ads are proven effective.
That's right.
And thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next week. Later.
See ya.